Casinos make billions every year, but there are certain slot machines they absolutely hate having on their floors. Former casino employees have leaked information about 9 specific high RTP slots that give players significantly better odds. These machines exist in almost every major casino, and the house knows exactly which ones they are. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact names of these slots and why casinos desperately hope you never find them. Now let's get into machine number 1, which is called Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania. This IGT classic consistently appears in insider reports as one of the machines that casino management keeps the closest eye on. Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania has built a reputation among knowledgeable players for frequent bonus rounds and solid payouts. The Lobster Trap bonus feature is what makes this machine particularly interesting from a player's perspective. When this bonus triggers, which happens more often than many newer slots, players can win substantial amounts that significantly extend their playing time. Here's a story that perfectly illustrates why casinos hate this machine. A former slot attendant from a major Las Vegas property shared an incident from 2019 where a retired mathematics teacher came in 3 times a week and played exclusively Lobster Mania. Over 6 months, she tracked every single spin in a notebook, bet amounts, bonus frequencies, everything. She eventually presented her data to the slot manager, proving the machine was paying out 4% higher than the casino's posted average. The casino couldn't dispute her numbers because they were accurate. They offered her a comp buffet and politely asked her to stop publishing her findings on a popular gambling forum where she'd gained thousands of followers. She declined both offers and continued her research, becoming something of a folk hero among local players. What insiders have revealed about Lobster Mania is that the machine's popularity creates a problem for casinos. It's well known enough that players actively seek it out, which means casinos can't simply hide it in a back corner without frustrating their customer base. However, ex-employees say that many casinos have responded by reducing the number of Lobster Mania machines on their floors, or only offering higher denomination versions. Internal data showed that Lobster Mania consistently underperformed house projections, which in casino language means it was paying out more than management wanted. The buoy bonus round in particular has been mentioned by former technicians as a feature that can lead to significant wins. One former floor manager revealed that during busy weekend shifts, they would watch lines form at Lobster Mania machines while newer, tighter slots sat empty nearby. This created an uncomfortable situation where the casino had to choose between player satisfaction and profit margins. But wait until you hear what happened with the next machine on this list. It caused even bigger headaches for management. Slot number 2, Mr. Cashman. Aristocrats. Mr. Cashman series has been identified by former casino workers as another machine that management would prefer remained undiscovered by the masses. What makes Mr. Cashman particularly frustrating for casinos is the frequency of the bonus trigger. The little gold character that pops up and awards bonuses, free games, or progressive jackpots appears more often than casino management anticipated when these machines were first installed. But here's where things get absolutely wild. A former casino surveillance operator revealed something that happened at an Atlantic City casino in 2017. A group of 5 friends who met online in a slot machine forum decided to coordinate their play. They would text each other whenever someone triggered the Mr. Cashman bonus, then all converge on the Mr. Cashman bank of machines nearby. The psychological effect was incredible. When multiple machines started celebrating at once, it created a feeding frenzy. Other players would abandon tighter machines to join what looked like a hot section. The casino's surveillance team initially thought it was some kind of advantage play or cheating ring. After weeks of investigation, they realized the players were simply using the machine's legitimate high trigger frequency against the casino's own floor psychology. Management was furious. These players weren't breaking any rules, just exploiting the machine's genuine mathematical advantage combined with social coordination. The casino eventually spread out all Mr. Cashman machines across different wings to prevent this clustering effect. The Mr. Cashman character trigger is based on a random number generator sequence that proved to be more generous than competing machines from the same era. Insiders have stated that internal casino reports often flagged Mr. Cashman machines as underperforming, especially during peak hours when multiple players would be hitting bonuses simultaneously. What makes this machine even more interesting is that there are multiple versions with slightly different themes, but they all share that core bonus feature. According to former gaming compliance staff, this meant casinos couldn't simply remove one version without players noticing and asking about it. The machine had developed too strong of a following. And wait until you hear what happened with the next machine, because it involves an incident that almost got a casino fined. Slot number 3, China Shores. Konami's China Shores has been mentioned repeatedly by former casino employees as a slot that delivers more frequent wins than management prefers. According to insiders, the action-stacked symbols feature that defines this machine creates more winning combinations than standard reel configurations. The way symbols can appear stacked on every single reel means that when you hit a good spin, it can be extremely good. The machine's medium volatility combined with decent hit frequency makes it especially dangerous from the casino's point of view. It's not a high volatility slot where players quickly lose their bankroll, but it's also not so loose that it's obviously player friendly. This middle ground means that players can have satisfying sessions without hitting a major jackpot, and they leave feeling positive about the experience. That positive feeling brings them back, which compounds the casino's problem. Before we move on to a true story about this machine, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and tell me in the comments, have you ever won big while playing with your family or friends? Now here's where things get interesting. A major regional casino attempted to quietly adjust the settings on their China Shores machines to tighten them up without going through proper regulatory approval. One regular player, a software engineer who worked in data analysis, had been tracking his sessions in a detailed spreadsheet for over a year. He noticed his results had changed dramatically over a 2-week period. The bonus frequency had dropped, and his average session length was cut nearly in half. He filed a complaint with the Gaming Commission, and what happened next shocked everyone. The investigation revealed that a casino executive had authorized a slot technician to modify the machine's chip settings during an overnight shift, using parameters that hadn't been approved by regulators. When the Gaming Commission's forensic team pulled the machine's logic board, they found evidence of the unauthorized modifications in the timestamp logs. The casino faced a $250,000 fine, the executive was quietly let go, and the technician lost his license. But here's the kicker. After that incident, China Shores became completely untouchable. No casino wanted to be caught manipulating it again, which meant these machines were stuck with their original, player-friendly mathematics, whether management liked it or not. The software engineer became something of a legend and still plays China Shores every week. But the next machine on this list has an even stranger history. Slot number 4, Cleopatra 2. IGT's Cleopatra 2 is a sequel to one of the most successful slot machines ever created, and according to former casino employees, it's a machine that management has a complicated relationship with. Cleopatra 2 offers better odds than many modern video slots, especially during the free spins bonus round. The multiplier feature that starts at 1 times and increases with each consecutive win during free spins can reach up to 50 times. That kind of multiplier potential, combined with the ability to re-trigger free spins, creates opportunities for massive payouts that casino management watches very carefully. Here's a story that shows just how problematic this machine became. A former casino host from a tribal casino in Oklahoma revealed an incident involving a wealthy regular customer who was a retired oil executive. This player was a 7-figure annual loser for the casino, exactly the kind of customer properties fight over. But he had one quirk. He refused to play anything except Cleopatra 2. Over 18 months, his losses on Cleopatra 2 were minimal, maybe $50,000 total, while he was earning massive comp points based on his play volume and bet size. The casino's accounting department calculated that between his comps, hotel stays, meals, and entertainment, they were actually losing money on him despite his play. Management held a meeting to discuss the Cleopatra problem. They couldn't remove the machines without losing this whale. They couldn't ask him to play something else without insulting him. One executive seriously proposed installing rigged Cleopatra 2 machines that looked identical but had tighter settings, until the compliance officer pointed out that would be catastrophically illegal and would cost them their gaming license. Eventually, they decided to leave everything as is and just accept this particular player as a loss leader, hoping his presence would attract other high-value players. but they started tracking other high rollers' machine preferences carefully, and anyone else who favored Cleopatra 2 received subtly less generous comp offers. What makes Cleopatra 2 particularly interesting is its widespread availability and name recognition. Unlike obscure machines that casinos can quietly remove, this machine is so well known that players demand it. Former floor managers have revealed that this creates a situation where casinos feel obligated to keep at least a few Cleopatra 2 machines on the floor to satisfy customer inquiries, even though internal data shows the machines paying out more than desired. Keep watching though, because the fifth machine has a characteristic that makes it even more problematic for casinos. Slot number 5, Top Dollar. IGT's Top Dollar has been identified by former casino workers as one of the classic mechanical reel slots that still delivers better odds than most modern video slots. The simplicity of Top Dollar's 3-reel design masks some surprisingly player-friendly mathematics. The pay table on Top Dollar, particularly at higher denominations, offers better long-term returns than flashy multi-line video slots that cost the same amount per spin. But here's a story that reveals just how sneaky casinos can be. A former slot technician from a Midwest casino shared something that happened in 2016. Management wanted to remove their last 6 Top Dollar machines because they were maintenance nightmares. At least that's what they told the Gaming Commission. The real reason, according to internal emails this technician later saw, was that a group of gamblers had been camping on these machines during peak hours, and they were too well informed about the favorable odds. The casino claimed they couldn't get replacement parts anymore, so the machines had to be retired. But here's what actually happened. The technician was told to deliberately perform deficient maintenance on these machines. He was instructed to use lower quality lubricants that would cause more frequent jams, to delay repairs by claiming parts were on back order when they were actually available, and to keep these machines in a perpetual state of almost breaking. After 6 months of this treatment, the casino had documentation showing these machines had been down for repairs over 40% of the time, which they presented to regulators as justification for removal. The technician felt terrible about it, but needed the job. However, 2 years later, when he'd moved to a different casino, he anonymously sent documentation to a gambling industry watchdog website. The story got picked up by a gaming industry newsletter, and while no formal investigation happened, the practice became well known enough that other casinos became more careful. The technician says he still feels guilty about essentially sabotaging machines that players loved, but he wanted people to know that when casinos say a machine is being removed for maintenance reasons, that's not always the whole truth. If you think that's sneaky, wait until you hear about the tactics used with the next machine. Slot number 6, Stinkin' Rich. IGT's Stinkin' Rich is a slot that former casino employees describe as having one of the most player-friendly bonus structures in modern slot design. According to insiders, the Trash for Cash bonus feature and the Keys to Riches bonus both offer substantial win potential with relatively frequent triggers. The hit frequency of the bonus rounds on Stinkin' Rich exceeded casino management expectations, leading to the machine being closely monitored through back-end tracking systems. Here's an unbelievable story. A former floor manager from a major Las Vegas Strip casino revealed that management got so frustrated with Stinkin' Rich that they tried psychological warfare. They couldn't remove the machines because of player demand, and they couldn't change the mathematics because of regulations. So they got creative in the most petty ways imaginable. At this particular casino, they positioned their Stinkin' Rich machines directly next to a bank of penny slots that had been specifically selected for having the most obnoxious sound effects on the entire floor. We're talking about machines with loud, repeating jingles, constant screaming announcements, and piercing celebration sounds that went off every few seconds. The floor manager admitted they ran tests at different times of day, measuring decibel levels, specifically to make the Stinkin' Rich area as uncomfortable as possible without violating noise ordinances. But it gets better, or worse, depending on your perspective. During summer months, they would deliberately direct the air conditioning flow away from that section of the floor. Players would literally be sweating while trying to enjoy their Stinkin' Rich sessions. One maintenance worker revealed that they received specific instructions not to respond quickly to temperature complaints in that zone. The genius of this strategy from the casino's perspective was that it didn't violate any gaming regulations. the machines still worked perfectly and paid out according to their approved mathematics. The casino just made the experience miserable enough that players would eventually give up and move to other, tighter machines in more comfortable areas. According to the former floor manager, the strategy partially worked. Average session times on Stinkin' Rich dropped by about 30%, but the casino underestimated player determination. Hardcore fans started bringing personal fans, wearing lighter clothing, and even using noise-canceling headphones. Some players viewed the uncomfortable conditions as a challenge and wore it as a badge of honor that they were tough enough to endure it for the better odds. That's a funny story. Tell me in the comments, have you ever played in a casino section where the conditions weren't very great? Anyway, we've got 3 more slots coming up that might surprise you even more. Slot number 7, Triple Diamond. IGT's Triple Diamond represents the classic 3-reel slot format that delivers some of the best odds you can find on a casino floor. According to insiders, the simplicity of this machine is exactly what makes it valuable for well-informed players. The wild multiplier symbol that gives the machine its name can multiply wins by 3 times or even 9 times when multiple wilds appear, and these multipliers hit often enough to make the math work in the player's favor compared to most other options. Here's a fascinating story that shows how these machines created their own underground culture. A former floor supervisor from Reno shared an observation that took her years to understand. She noticed that informed local players had developed an unspoken code around Triple Diamond machines. If someone was playing one and got up for a bathroom break, they'd leave a jacket or a drink to hold their spot, and other regulars would respect it. But it was more than just courtesy, there was an actual system. She eventually realized that certain regulars had worked out a rotation schedule. Player A would play from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., player B from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and so on. They never discussed it openly where cameras could pick it up, but they had clearly coordinated to ensure that Triple Diamond machines were always occupied by knowledgeable players during peak hours, effectively locking out tourists and casual players who didn't understand the machine's value. Management caught on eventually and held a meeting about the Triple Diamond problem. One executive seriously suggested hiring off-duty security guards to play the machines during busy shifts, just to block the hardcore players. The legal team immediately shut that down, pointing out the potential liability issues. Instead, they tried moving the Triple Diamond machines multiple times, but the rotation group would just adapt within a few days. The real surprise came during a renovation. When the casino finally decided to remove the Triple Diamond machines entirely, claiming the floor space was needed for a high-limit room, something unexpected happened. The core group of Triple Diamond players, about 20 regulars who collectively spent tens of thousands annually, simply stopped coming to that casino. They didn't make a big scene or file complaints. They just quietly took their business to a competitor across town that still had Triple Diamond machines. Within 3 months, the casino's analytics team noticed the revenue drop and traced it back to the renovation decision. They ended up reinstalling 4 Triple Diamond machines in a small alcove near the poker room, and most of the players eventually came back. The incident became a case study internally about the hidden value of problem machines that built player loyalty. Now, the last 2 machines on this list use a technology that casinos really wish they could modify. Slot number 8, Zeus 2. WMS Gaming's Zeus 2 has been identified as a slot with a unique reel configuration that works in the player's favor more than casino management anticipated. Zeus 2 uses a colossal reels format with a standard 5x4 reel set on the left and a massive 5x12 reel set on the right. This configuration creates an enormous number of potential winning combinations, and according to reports from ex-slot technicians, the frequency of wins across both reel sets made this machine pay out more consistently than expected. What makes this particularly interesting is the free spins feature. The stacked wild symbols that can appear on both the main and colossal reel sets create opportunities for massive screen coverage during the bonus round. Former floor managers have revealed that watching Zeus 2 during free spins was often frustrating from a management perspective because players could string together multiple consecutive big wins that would significantly boost their bankroll. Here's an incredible story that shows how badly one casino miscalculated. A former gaming director from an East Coast property revealed what happened during a particularly bad month for slot revenue. Upper management demanded a review of all underperforming machines, and Zeus 2 was at the top of the list. The machines were popular, but the profit per square foot was terrible from the casino's point of view. The gaming director proposed a strategy: move all Zeus 2 machines to the most remote corner of the casino, near the parking garage entrance, far from restaurants, bathrooms, and the main gaming floor. The theory was that only the most dedicated players would bother walking that far, which would naturally reduce play volume without technically removing the machines. Management approved the plan immediately. But here's what happened next, and nobody saw it coming. Within 2 weeks, that remote corner became the busiest section of the casino during evening hours. Word had spread among the hardcore players that all the Zeus 2 machines had been consolidated in one area, and they started gathering there. Players began calling it the Good Machines Corner and the Player-Friendly Zone. The area developed its own social atmosphere. People would wait for machines, chat about strategies, and celebrate each other's bonuses. The unexpected consequence was that tourists and casual players started noticing the crowds and asking casino hosts what was special about that area. Some of them wandered over to investigate and discovered the Zeus 2 machines. The casino had accidentally created a marketing situation where they were drawing attention to the exact machines they wanted people to avoid. The concentration of players in one area also made it obvious that these machines had better odds. Nobody congregates around tight slots. 3 months later, management had to reverse the decision and scatter the Zeus 2 machines across the floor again, but the damage was done. Players now knew these machines were special, and the Good Machines Corner became an inside joke among regulars. According to the former gaming director, an executive actually asked during a meeting if they could ban players from talking about Zeus 2 online, until the legal team explained that would be impossible to enforce and potentially illegal. The entire incident became a cautionary tale within the company about unintended consequences of obvious machine placement strategies. The final machine has a similar story. Slot number 9, Kronos. WMS Gaming's Kronos shares some similarities with Zeus 2, but according to former casino employees, it has its own characteristics that make casino management uncomfortable. Kronos uses a similar colossal reel setup, but the bonus features and symbol distributions create a different playing experience that many experienced players prefer. The free spins bonus on Kronos, especially when it re-triggers multiple times, can lead to extended bonus rounds that pay out substantial amounts relative to the initial bet. What former floor supervisors have revealed about Kronos is that the machine tends to have strong player loyalty, meaning the same people return to play it regularly. This kind of loyalty is great for keeping people in the casino, but problematic when those loyal players are gravitating toward a machine that pays out more than management wants. Here's the most dramatic story of all, and it perfectly illustrates the power struggle between casinos and informed players. A former casino operations manager from a property in the Southwest shared an incident that happened during a planned renovation in 2018. Management decided to remove all Kronos machines permanently, using the renovation as cover. The official line was that the floor space would be used for newer, more exciting games that modern players preferred, but word leaked out before the machines were removed. A regular player who was friendly with a slot attendant learned about the plan and posted about it in a private Facebook group of about 200 local slot enthusiasts. Within 48 hours, something remarkable happened. Dozens of players showed up specifically to play Kronos one last time. The casino was so busy that weekend that management initially thought they were seeing the positive effects of their marketing campaign for the renovation. Then someone in accounting ran the numbers. The spike in foot traffic was entirely from people coming in to play Kronos, and while the casino was packed, most players were concentrated on the machines that were about to be removed, the ones with the best odds. The casino was busy but not making optimal money because everyone was playing the favorable machines. One regular player even organized a Kronos funeral on the final day before removal, where a group showed up wearing black clothing as a joke. They took photos with the machines and posted them online with hashtags about the good machines. Management held an emergency meeting. They realized something important. Removing popular machines, even ones that didn't generate optimal revenue, could hurt overall foot traffic and create negative publicity within the local gambling community. Players were already talking about how the casino was removing all the good slots and getting greedy. Some were openly discussing switching to competitor properties. the casino made a surprising decision. The Kronos machines were quietly kept on the floor after the renovation. Though moved to less prominent locations, the official statement was that, due to popular demand, we're keeping select favorites. But internal documents the operations manager saw later revealed the real calculation. The loss in revenue from keeping Kronos was offset by the increased foot traffic and overall spending those players generated on other services like restaurants, drinks, and other gambling. The incident became a teaching moment internally. An executive even circulated a memo about the Kronos situation, explaining that sometimes you need loss leaders in retail, and that applies to casinos too. You can't optimize everything for maximum short-term profit without considering player satisfaction and long-term loyalty. The Kronos machines became a symbol of the tension between casino mathematics and customer psychology. According to the operations manager, some casinos learned from this incident, while others ignored it. But the story spread through industry circles, and now when major properties consider removing popular machines, someone usually brings up that time a casino almost lost its regulars over Kronos. Here's the critical information that ties everything together. According to multiple former casino employees across different properties and jurisdictions, casino management maintains detailed databases tracking every slot machine's performance. These systems monitor not just the RTP, but also factors like average bet size, session length, player return rate, and revenue per square foot of floor space. The machines we've discussed today represent more than just favorable odds. If you want to learn more about other slots that casinos can't stand, check out the other videos on this channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insider information about how slot machines really work.